for the afternoon. Let's get into it. So, last we left off with our body template. So we're gonna make a goblin. That's the goal for this afternoon. Make a goblin. Goblin these nuts. um, there's few things to do in the meantime. First, I'd like to get everything in the file set up for my baking process. We need to rig the eyebrows. Just a few things that we'll want to update on our base before we do anything else. What's wrong? Hang on 1 second. Here, my cat. Hi, cat. I was the sick. I assumed that's what happened to you. I actually was at my brother's wedding this past few days. Um, Not at. I mean, we're still living in the same spot, but um, I'll be moving soon. Uh, yeah, I spent the last few days kind of should be subtracting weight. Oh, strength that. And there we go. All right, there we go. Eyebrows are rigged. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Oh, and I did get a little sick too, which is ironic as well. Great meshes. Masks. Okay, there we go. Great masks. I already have a folder. That should be enough. I just need to export the UV layout. That'd actually be better. But I did get your message regarding the face tracking. I'll have to look into that later today or tomorrow. Eye selection. Actually making a face rigging group tab would be good. 2024, we'll go to resource or products, shape key, fixturing and animations. No, shape key baker. Scripts. Copy that whole folder. Trying all week to get it to work, but only eye blinks and the programming breaks my headset. Interesting. Oh. Sent me that OCS smoothing thing, and that works on my robots. So both people are smart, I guess. Oh, interesting. I dragged it in as an object. Not an object. Should be a text editor here. Then action editor. Save. File. And resources. How good is your D&D stuff? I haven't checked in a while. Right now, we're still figuring out process to make NPCs really fast. So that's what we're going to be doing today. It's just experimenting with workflow. I think I just got to accept broken needs. The animation stuff is rough. It definitely can be. If you're using the digigrade stuff, sometimes if the position constraints are messed up, or those can be difficult to get right, making the constraints exact. Where am I? Here. Ooh, I'm still very tired today. But yeah, sometimes you get that knee bug. I just motion capture everything. What do you use for your motion capture? Okay, good. Added all of that. Steam Mocap Studio. Is it the what's it called? Mocopy? No, that's not it. But in a second. Then I need this selection eyes added to here. And lastly, let's double check that I've got human. Something motion, something like that. Let's look it up really quick. Hello, Snardom. They renamed it. Yeah, it should be. Mocap Fusion. That's what it is. That might be a good fit for you, Arctic. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if you have full body though. You don't need it to do it, but certainly that would give you probably the range of motion you're looking for. Still working on homework. Didn't think I'd have this much homework at my age. Get ChatGPT to grade it for you. Right, and then the masks, Photoshop. I do want that mask, but what we'll do first is go into UV editing. minus the eyeball. Select this and actually if I it's fine. UV export UV layout. We'll send that into our Photoshop and textures actually. And so now I have this diffusion masks object. BRB sounds good. We'll bring in that image we just made. That, duplicate it, and nice. So there's our full selection. The UVs, go one. All right, good stuff. Not quite the selection I'm looking for. Or is it though? Let's do this. Tolerance 10. Doesn't work like that. Okay, we have to duplicate these, combine them. This is taking me basically all afternoon. That looks pretty good. I've always felt that animation is one of those things that there is no end. You could always just keep working on animation. That looks good to me. I certainly think it looks a lot better than the default walk cycle already, especially for that character. So, you know, you might not be satisfied, but I think I'm quite impressed. Are we ever satisfied in anything we make? I think with time you can grow to get to that point where you can walk away satisfied, but certainly it takes practice. We're still gobbing it up. Yes, we are. We're gonna I just wanted to go back to my base before I started working on him, because I had made a little list of changes I wanted to get ready to go. And I just finished them. So now we will do that. We'll make the gobbo. It's time to make the gobbo. And to do that, first we'll make a backup. And we'll say additional tweaks. Tweaks made. Gobbing up these these nuts. Also, I spent ages trying to Google how to mirror the animations across the x-axis, and all I got was a way too long video about clicking the mirror checkbox. Like, no, that's not what I'm asking. You can't take animation data and make it change the keyframes, but selecting the mirror checkbox should basically do the same thing. Interesting. All in Unity. Dang. Sounds like a lot of work. Doing animation stuff in Unity is basically like pulling teeth. I just wanted the keyframes so I could then offset them on the other side and make it loop. Gotcha. All this gobbo. Oh. Save. Okay. And oh, I should have gotten the projector in as well. That's good because I'm still in the base template anyway. What I should have done is done file, append. Villagers. Blender. Projection. Just append that here. Base. Projection. Shading. So in case anyone else wonders, you can just copy paste, but it's picky about where it pastes it. Took me a few tries to get it to behave. Behave yourself. All right, and then also want projection material on the body. And so now that's all set up. Oh, and then also the mirror here. Second one. This material should only ever target UV01. I want to keep the main one. All right. Oh, and then 2048. Make it square. What? You just need so much attention right now. Look outside really quick. It's a nice day outside. Also, while there are splitter hands around, anyone got a replacement / fix for the data transfer add-on, not modifier, when used in Blender 4.1. Oh, interesting. I think you can replace it with just the standard data transfer workflows that Blender has by default. So if you have two objects selected, you go to Object, Link and Transfer Data, Transfer Mesh Data, and vertex groups, pretty similar to the mesh data transfer. Best be off, need to be cooking something other than my brain. Sounds good, Arctic. And great work today. I know you struggled with it, but or you're in the grind set, and I recognize the grind. Wishing you well. Sigma grind set. Grind, recognize, grind. Oh, sorry, shape keys, of course. Yeah, vertex group's pretty easy to transfer. I don't think I've ever come across an alternative, to be honest. And it's not there's a version 2 here. NPIN64 error. There is something I was looking at recently for a this warp here that I have not messed around with. Could work, and you can save it as a shape key, but hard to say that it's probably not going to be as clean as that add-on. Yeah, I'm sorry, that might be. Well, I'm glad you are figuring that out, because if I upgraded all the way, then that would definitely mess up my normal workflow. Four point 4.0 should work. I think I'm just edgy. I think I used to keep up with it, like try to keep up with like the latest ones, but I do find that a lot of times you encounter situations like that. There was one other thing I was gonna do. I'm sure I'll think of it as soon as I get into the next thing. So we're gonna save over the Gabo folder. Now we have our Gabo. I now have 4. Sometimes I uninstall an older one. That's what we'll do is first get our character into the proportions we want for a goblin, which I think would be probably something. I have to scale down the legs, fortunately. Guess I can't really unlink the hips. That's okay. That's okay. And we'll take the head, scale up the head. Make sure mirror is on. Go to tool. Stretch. Best things about AI, we're all trying to figure out new workflows for all of the things. And I'm sure in a little while, all of our workflows will change again. Hello, Evelyn Jones. Welcome back. I'm going to switch up how my ears work here. And like that. All right, looks like a little goblin body. Just a little gobbo. Funny. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can select him. We can duplicate the armature, apply the armature, and then take the rig and say ARP, pose tools, apply pose as rest pose. The only thing that really needs to change are these bones right here. Bam. Everything else looks good. Oh, the ears. Cool. Okay, then we can say match to rig. And then make a backup copy. I'm going to call this Whip01. Pre-multi-res. multi-res? No. Just too limiting on my workflow. Too big of a constraint. Say basic proportions. Proportions. I can type proportions. Proportions? Proportions? Anyway. Good stuff. Now we got our little gobbo. And what we can do, go to render, turn on our mist pass. Make sure it is enabled. And adjust it. What? I just had it working. What? It was totally different a second ago. So I think let's actually just be a little bit more accurate with it. Well, this is 1 meter right here. So I'd want it to start at like, this is 0. Starting the disc measured from the camera. Measured from the camera. So I put the camera at 0. Let's say it's 1. Oh my god. I guess -1. There. Then it gets a little bit easier to think about. Because I could say, I could start it 0.5 meters in front. And -0.5 meters behind. Or no, I guess that'd be 1 meter. 0. 0. This. I think that's how that works. That's what I'm looking for. Just this really high contrast range. Awesome. Okay. So there we got our mist pass. What we need to do now is go to our composition. This is something I'll have to add to my base template later. But we'll first set up and export. In our Blender folder here, we'll go here, control net, Now, renders. And here, Gabo. 01. Accept. And we'll make a file output. We take the mist and we invert it. And we export it to renders folder, adding control net. Say depth, actually. It's depth. Right here. All right, accept. Cool, so now we've got a good mist pass. Excuse me. I think that's it. So render animation. Cool, that one looks terrible as expected. And then I should have a much better image in our pass here. Yep, got our control net. Awesome, so we'll save, close Blender, close Photoshop, open up Auto 1111 again, and now we're going to use the control net. I should turn on auto update. But I'm missing some nice AI hype. Time to spam that generate button. Lol. Hello, Namers. Welcome. Okay. Depth. No pre-process. We take our Gabo depth map, drop it in, and we're just gonna say goblin. Turn on enable, low VRAM. Spend some time trying to figure out if I could just transfer albedo colors from Blender to Resonite, but no luck. More accurately, I mean, but they do import, but they're very off. Interesting. Transfer albedo colors from Blender. As long as I had them hooked up to the principled BSDF, they seem to work the best. That way, the colored texture data seems to be baked in the best. As long as I've used the principled BSDF. Goblin, leather, armor, stern expression. Character design, concept art, high quality, cinematic. Maybe not cinematic. I don't want weird lighting. All right, give it a shot. Principled is what I've been using, but the color is like super off. It's much, much darker and desaturated. Cat really wants my attention right now. Well, you want my attention? Perfect. I'm going to show you off to the camera. I'm going to show you off to the camera. There we go. Hey. Hello. Hello, beauty. What are you doing? What are you doing? She just wants so much attention right now. A little goblin, yeah, pretty much. Are you a little goblin? Are you a little goblin? We're getting these purple things. Forget why that happens. A little gobbo. Right, go. I'd like to figure out if I can get a one-to-one, because like I like getting my colors right in Blender. The only way it's going to be perfectly one-to-one is if you're using like an unlit texture in Resonite. Like you basically plug it into the emission of your shader in Resonite. You want it to be exactly the same colors. Other than that, just importing, bringing your model, and then bringing the texture. If it's the import process that's breaking it, you can just import your texture directly instead. Man, this is not good. A little upset with this here. I feel like it should be better. I'm still in the abyss. Let's go back to Rev Animated. Wait on this to load. Loading, loading, loading. Finish the club, by the way. Oh, thank you, Namers. Yeah, we're gonna try the ogre after this goblin. Lux, what? It's funny because she just wants a bunch of attention right now. But when Joe's home, she just sleeps. It's like when he's gone, then she wants my attention really bad. But when he is here, she doesn't actually like beg from him all the time. All right, generating another one. He's trained her well, I see. I guess so. Ooh, what's that? Okay, interesting. I like the armor. Still is just not doing anything correctly with the face, though. The colors are really mismatched. I'm just gonna do green skin. Um, Pointed or long ears. Try that one more time. We're just stuck in another cycle of seeing if of this prompt iterating. I'm gonna do something else because right, I'm just gonna go back to I guess I'll do a multi-res at that point. Why not? Oh, multi-res. Let's make a sculpture. Yeah, that's terrible. I like the weird Gundams in the background. Okay, so exit that. Exit this. Back to Blender. Whoops, Blender. So just duplicate this and turn one of them into a sculpture. Let's try the multi-res one. We'll duplicate it. We'll do it on a duplicate. On this one, I can apply the mirror, apply the subdivision, add a multi-res modifier. And on the multi-res, we can continue to subdivide. And then most importantly, sculpt, which should sculpt our base as well. Shit. Delete that. Bring back this one. There was a gap. What? What? No. Get. Ugh, she's been so bad. Have to go lock her up in the other room. That's why I don't like sculpting subdivisions. Okay. Sculpting subdivision base is a bad idea. So do, or no, turn that down. Man, I just want to work faster than this. Why is it so difficult? You know, maybe the character is just too small in the image. Let me try scaling this down. I'm going to put that right there. Go back to our mist view that we were looking at earlier. Now we're going to render it again. It's like, man, I love the idea of sculpting them, but that's not fast enough. I need this to be faster to make monsters. Yeah. Just not fast enough. You got this, Sam. Thank you, Nammers. All right. Next image one more time. Control net. Depth. Drop that here. It's much. Let me. This image. Huh. This does not have as much information as I expected it to. It should look like this. All right, then we have to render. We have to do render view viewport render image. Take a snapshot of the active viewport. Wow, that's weird. It should look exactly like this. Hmm. I don't have any animation data. I'm rendering the camera is not moving. So why doesn't it look like this? Just gives me this grayness with actually a little dot right there. So I see that. So it is in the right spot. Um, hmm. So that means that the mist pass settings that I'm adjusting here are wrong. Okay, that's okay then. The starts 1. Let's do 0.8. Starts 0.8, so 1 meter to 1 meter. This should be 0.8. And it should go to 1.2. Try that again. View image. Still nothing. None of the objects are prevented from rendering. Do I have to have things selected to render? Now it's black though. So it did do something different, but not what I'd want it to. Did just adjust these. Quadratic. Should be getting something. Okay, well, let me think. Let's try adding one more to it. So if we go here, this view, we'll go to our compositing layers and we'll include Z. Should be depth instead of mist. I don't really know the difference. There's Z, there's depth, and that's not in there, but I should have it here. So let's take that, put it in render animation. Okay, much better. Yes, it's still a little wrong, or we lose the ears there, but it is better. At least you can take your frustration out on him on the end. That's true. Beat him up. Maybe I need to normalize them. I guess that's what's going wrong, because it is getting normalized. What does this look like straight from the gate? Interesting. So I am getting that detail in the mist pass. But the problem is when it gets inverted. Ah, okay. So I am getting the right information, but this invert color node is the issue. There we go. So I do want to use my depth pass still. By making it RGB, it normalized my values. Gotcha. All right. There we go. Now we can close Blender. Back here. What? Oh, never mind. Again. This should be what I'm getting right here. Okay. How about we do RGB to black and white? And that way I know I'm not saving an RGB value. Should prevent it from getting messed up. There we go. But it's still so different. What is going on? What is going on? Is it making the character invisible also? It basically is, yeah. I think it is basically saving it as a PNG with transparency. That's my guess. So that's really the only thing that explains it. Can I change what this saves as? Yes, I can. This here. I'm going to make sure we don't save it as a PNG. We're instead just going to save it as a JPEG. Or no, I could save it as a PNG, but just make sure. No, it doesn't have transparency. Oh, we'll save it as a black and white PNG. Render. Animation. Let's give this a shot. There we go. Okay. Sure looks like what I'm looking for. Okay. Now, sorry, I think actually you get rid of the invert. background should be black. Mist. So I just take the mist, put it here, and then I invert it. Oh, I had alpha checked here. Oh, duh, of course. Stupid. Stupid. You know what I really should have done instead of inverted the color? So it should just work now. That looks correct. Now it should have no alpha information of any kind. Good. Okay, I still need to invert it. Or I don't need to invert it. Why is it? This is doing nothing. Take this, plug it in here. Why would the inverting the color do literally nothing? Okay, doesn't matter. I'm gonna do this as a mix instead. And we'll take one of these, black. Another one. Interesting. This is not what I expect at all. Okay. Why don't we... This should be correct right here. Well, no, it's not. Invert it still. Then once I get rid of it, I'm really confused. I have it here and I do window, render animation. Should be just white on black. White, background, black. So this is the default render. And when I invert it, I would expect the background to be black. RGB changes it. Okay, we'll invert the color and then we'll take a mix color here. And what we'll do is recombine them, something like a subtract. Or multiply. I just did a color ramp instead. Losing so much value. What does depth look like here? Believe how much time I'm spending on this. Annoying. It should just fucking work. Like, hey, you know that thing you're looking at that we're showing you? Guess what? Can't use it that way. Can't use the thing we're showing you the way you want it to. Big brain. Could you mix it with ambient occlusion? Add more detail to the depth. Not sure if you're already including it somewhere. Just random thoughts. It's not a bad idea. Not something I'll mess with at the moment, but I do like that quite a bit. Oh, that's way nicer. Interesting. The depth here is pretty good. The mist just goes too far. Just this tiny, tiny range here. Okay, then map, range. From here, 0.2. Let's say 0.2. The other way, 10. All right, let's try this one. This one seems pretty good. Close that. Take this. And I am just rendering them the same, so drop it in. Say goblin. Not safe work. Blurry, ugly, bad anatomy. Other All right. Armor didn't turn out too bad. Face is still just so messy. That's okay. I think if that's what I have to clean up, it's not too bad. Okay. I swear there's an option to fix the face. Maybe face restoration. So I guess it's just not triggering for this character. So yeah, it looks like it's just not even messing with that at all. Definitely not leather armor, but and it's still fucking with the face a lot. Just replaces the green skin. Leather armor. Yellow eyes. Try that one more time. And after this test, we'll go back and add the ambient occlusion, as Snardom suggested, because that could give us just that little bit of detail that seems to be lacking here. Wow. Okay, it's not even right. This is an image to image. This is control net, not image to image. But could be. Could be. Fuck it. I'd rather not. We're gonna do a new. Let's stick with what we were testing first in the text image tab. So back into Blender. Back into Gabo. We'll do one quick render. Oh, I am so tired. Let me turn off this little right now. And now that we have that, that all looks good. Oh, I should enable in our passes ambient occlusion. I don't think renders in this first pass. Z mix. No ambient occlusion rendered. Oh. Oh. There we go. Interesting. So I can't do the viewport render image without being an EV. Good to know. Still doesn't really help me though. At least get this ambient occlusion, and I can get rid of the projector for now. Actually, we'll just put it in its own collection. Projection plane. Go back to compositing. Under animation. Good. I like that. It's almost exactly what I need, but let's add more depth information into this by adding it back over here. Cool. Let's see what that does. And save, close, back to here. And let's put in goblin. There's actually a little nose there now. It does not know what a goblin is, though. It seems to me. Another fix. Let's try turning up the resolution. Okay, let's do 1024. Back in alien territory. Yeah. We're back. I'm gonna blow my nose. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, see, look at these. That actually turned out a lot better. The nipples are super weird, and I don't like them. But and the skin's kind of glossy. So glossy or shiny skin. We want scars. We want tattoos. We want, actually, scars. I want to put tattoos in this one. Horns. Spikes. That. So Raider. D&D. And dragons. Concept art. Character design. I think it's just missing a lot of the details from my control net because it's just such a small image. But now it takes a million years to load or diffuse. So I think we'll turn down the sampling steps as well. Oh, well, interesting. That's like sci-fi armor. That face is really a little awkward. A tar or something. I don't think it understands what scars are. Yeah, we'll get rid of scars. Goblins in space, Warhammer. Turn the sampler steps down to 10. Turn up the batch size to 2. So it'll take just as long, but we'll get 2 images this time. I need to think after this test, which we are improving. I'm going to exit automatic 1111 and update it. Make sure we have the absolute latest version. So I bet this control net stuff is faster than it is right now. They're probably better control net units as well. Wild. Weird. Not what we're looking for. Baldur's Gate 3 mods. Set it back down to one batch. Quick sampling. Turn down control weight to 0.8. Maybe flip these. Start with a higher, really strong control net, end with a little. And switch this back to balanced and try it again. Come on. Ooh, that one's good. All right. Much more interesting. We're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. I'll be back. All right. Hmm. I wonder if I should just totally separate my work for clothing and bodies, because I can kind of pull apart a bunch of different pieces here. Like I was doing the hands and feet separately in the past. Well, that's kind of cool. Not quite what we're going for, but um, the monster is too strong. But if I did one just for the face, that'd probably work a lot better. Molten Goblin. This goblin's on fire. I think the monster stuff's just really, really strong. Oh, what the fuck? What is... I don't understand. Okay. The background? Black background? I guess it's making it like he has black armor. It doesn't understand what a black background is. Come on. Come on. Ugh. Hello. Wait. Thank you. All right. Not as bad. Still kind of weird. Still very weird. But I think getting closer to workable. All right. But it's going too slow. So I'm going to see if we can update Auto 11. And then we will double check the control nets. How do I do that again? Update. I think it's just dash dash update. Or poll or something. Get poll. It's not an argument. I think I just have to put in here. Get poll. All right. Yeah. Hasn't been touched in over a year. Should be fine. I've already reinstalled Xformers every time. All right. Doesn't look any different, as we would expect. Hoping this will give us at least a slight speed up. So I don't think my previous version. Oh, now this is default. Interesting. Okay, so Control Enter to generate. Oh, I see. That's not quite what I want. So, not safe work. Genitals, because that's what we do not want to generate. Nipples. Well, leave that out for now. And we'll say goblin, monster, enemy, medieval, concept art, character, design. Sure. Not the boys. Okay, I think we have to restart. Hopefully not my computer, but definitely Auto 11. But we'll edit it. Move the get pull, save it, reopen. See, I have reinstall Xformers and Xformers on. And then it's like, please reinstall Xformers. Guess what? That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Yep. Still gonna tell me do that. So Xform is built for Python. Gotcha. So my issue is the latest version of Python. Okay, F it. I'm done for today. At least put away the work computer. Did I miss any updates? Not particularly. Also had some problems with automatic level 11 update recently, but I was too lazy to look further. I have to update my Python. I have Python 3.10.7 installed. It literally says installing Xformers right here. Have you tried running OpenTuro to ask it to update that thing? Not a bad idea. Just weird because I have it installed. See, it says it installs it right here. Oh, I think that's enough for today. And that's annoying because now I have to re-get Auto 1111. Ugh. Okay, let's try Comfy UI. You guys hear that Oculus is or Meta's opening up their operating system? It's pretty cool. Did not hear about it. A VROS. Well, it's the same operating system they have right now in the Quest, but they're allowing other headset makers to use that OS as the like foundation. So I think they're teaming up with Microsoft already, and a few others. And apparently they're also making it a lot easier to get stuff on there. Up on their store and stuff. Less restrictive than they have been. A lot less restrictive. What I said. Come on. Load. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm done working on AI stuff right now. This is really annoying. It's just bad. So what would be the alternative? Crying. No. What I want to do is I've already made a backup, right? Yes. So I'm going to take this version and I'm going to create a multi-resolution version. We're going to subdivide and subdivide. And we're just going to sculpt it by hand. And then I think for my actual like AI workflow, we're going to come back to that tomorrow and try and oh, I'm not enjoying this right now. I was hoping this was going to be about as fast as my NPCs, the villagers that I made last week. Man, this is taking just way longer to create like a little monster or something. I thought it would be like much easier. I thought it was going to be a lot easier, and I don't like this already. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and overwrite. It's so funny. I know the feeling. Sometimes I'm feeling the AI future. Other times I hope we haven't automated too much yet. Control Z, Control Z. Anyway, time for a nap. Have a good one, everyone. Sounds good, Snartum. We'll catch you later. I'm very tempted to just call it here for today. Oh, but just feeling a little pooped. A little pooped. I think the most promising way I was working was just straight up painting the characters. Like that actually seemed like it was going somewhere. Oops. But is this going to be what saves me time? I don't think so. Look more charming too if you paint it, in my opinion. It will look charming, but I don't think what I'm imagining doing on my stream will be feasible if it takes too long to make characters. I may call it here for today, just because I'm feeling. I think feeling a little down, a little tired and sick. It's also also making me just a little bummed. AI is speedy. It is. It is. Not necessarily the best, but speedy. Let me try. But I broke my auto 11. 11, didn't I? No, this is a separate one. Separate version. Yeah. We'll try this again. But we'll make it smaller. 512 by 512. Great. Figure. Punch. Krita kind of sucks, to be honest. It has this really weird input lag. It's actually worse without cow mount. Huh. I want to use this tool, but it's actually just shit. Holy crap. Um, hmm. And I don't get that at all with Photoshop, do I? Wow, just a day lost to struggling with tools. What a bummer. Not noticing any sort of input lag like that. Hmm. I'm off to bed. Until next time. Sounds good, Zoom. We'll catch you later. Alrighty. Close those. Let's open Blender. Did have an idea for using Blender here that I wanted to explore here, which is making a grease pencil. And we could go in and start like designing a building or something. This. I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I'm just kind of faffing about. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Tomorrow's gonna be a little bit more organized because I should have my energy back. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to sleep, get some rest. We got some actual work to do tomorrow. Um, oh, all right, yeah, yeah. I was hoping to hop in, Nammers, but I think it's better for me to just rest at this point. Um, but tomorrow we'll get into some fun stuff. And certainly appreciate hanging out, Nammers. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Anyone else that's lurking out there, much love to all of you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Bye. Have a good night. I will. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Nammers.